standing up to genocide and standing against genocide to apologize. Those who are raising awareness, those who are making sacrifices, those who are standing up against this catastrophe and crime of our time, of our era, they are all to be celebrated. Every person across the world who is standing up against this, against ethno-supremacism and genocide, they are heroes. Whether they have American passports, or whether they have South African passports, or whether they have Indian passports or Chinese passports, doesn't matter. They are all heroes. Those who have to apologize are those who are silent. And those who are complicit, I have nothing to say for them. The genocide in Gaza, the Holocaust in Gaza is ongoing. And I think we all know more than enough. But what is important is that we must not allow focus to be moved away from Gaza, even if there is a ceasefire in the coming days or weeks. Our focus must remain on Gaza. What the Israeli regime has done with the support of the entire West, and even with the support of regional countries, through trade and business, and even when Yemen was standing up against the Israeli regime, it was Qatari, the airbase in Qatar and countries in the Persian Gulf, whose facilities were used by the Americans to bomb Yemen. So our focus must remain on Gaza. We've seen all sorts of crimes committed against the people of Gaza. Crimes that you'd only see in the most ridiculous and outrageous Hollywood movies, where the antagonist is so unbelievably sinister that that it made the movie unbelievable. But the Israeli regime has gone beyond even the most sinister antagonists in Hollywood movies. You see pictures of people walking, and then these drone pilots, these disgusting and sick people, would just bomb these people with their drones just for fun and pleasure. You would see them bringing people systematically every day, to places to get aid, and then they gun them down every single day. And the Western media does not want to talk about it. They do not want you to know about it. Every now and then something will be said, and then they move on, just to keep appearances, just to have people think that they have some sort of credibility, that they have even the slightest amount of integrity. This is the crime of our era. But Iran and the axis of resistance cannot accept this. It is unacceptable to us. And Iran will continue to support Palestine. It will continue to support Gaza by any means necessary. And it does so. That is why they're able to resist even today, despite all the odds. How Iran helps, I have no idea. How it gets supplies in there, I don't know. But of course, all that tunnel infrastructure and all those capabilities, the assistance back then continues, I assume, in the same way and form that it did in the past. But the axis of resistance, whether in Lebanon, will continue to try to draw energy away from Gaza. Lebanon made huge sacrifices for Gaza. It's quite extraordinary how Lebanon has sacrificed so much the resistance in Lebanon for another people. The sacrifices that the resistance has made, thousands of martyrs, was to help the people of Gaza. In Yemen, the sacrifices were made for another people, not their own, to stop the genocide in Gaza. And the same is true in Iran. And one reason why the West miscalculates is that they do not understand the culture of this axis of resistance. Tonight is, in the Iranian calendar, is the 9th of the month of Muharram, in the first month of the lunar year. We call it today, we call it Tasu'ah. Tomorrow is the day of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram. The grandson of the Prophet, on tomorrow, he went at the request of the people in Iraq, in Kufa in particular, to help them against the oppressor of his era, the dispossessed, the marginalized. They asked him to go. And even though he was told by many that they are an unfaithful people, and he knew that, he went because they asked him to. And on his way there, a famous poet told him that the people of that area, that region, their hearts are with you, but their swords are against you. And he said, I know. And he went with his companions and his household. And in Karbala, the land of Karbala, he stood against this army of the despot of that era, Yazid. And in that army, there were thousands of people who had written to him to come to their aid. But they were forced to switch sides. Their hearts were with him, but their swords were against him. But he refused humiliation because he was given a choice to submit or to be killed. And he and all of his companions refused. And there was a famous statement that in Iran is always repeated right now in Iran, across the country, in different gatherings, people are saying, Hayhat min nadhillah, never to humiliation. We are the furthest away from humiliation. After he and his companions were killed tomorrow, his sister, another grandchild of the Prophet, Zainab, she was captured along with the family of Hussein, Imam Hussein, Hussein ibn Ali, and the families of his companions who were martyred. And she gave speech after speech under threat, and as she was prisoner, and raised awareness fearlessly against the despot and his henchmen. Because they went there to support the disenfranchised and the marginalized. This chapter in history is very, very influential in Iranian culture and across this axis of resistance. It is deeply embedded in our ideology. And Christians in Iran, tonight we have a healthy Christian population. Christians in Iran tonight celebrate this act of defiance and this act of sacrifice carried out by Imam Hussein and his companions, his sister, and those who were with him. This is a part of our ideology. It is a part of our culture. It is deeply embedded in our beliefs. Even the most secular of secular people in Iran, and of course, secularism means different things to different people. But even the most secular, on tomorrow and tonight, they're on the streets. This is something that the West does not understand. We will not forsake the Palestinian people and the people of Gaza. This is why Iran will not do a deal with the empire and close its eyes to what goes on in Palestine, because these people are calling for help, and we have been helping them for decades. That is why we are sanctioned. That is why they try to strangle us. That is why they attack us. That is why they slaughtered so many people in Lebanon and Yemen, because they refuse to close their eyes to what goes on in Palestine. And so, if anyone wants to understand why we resist, they have to go and look and read about Imam Hussein and his sister Zainab, and they will understand why it is impossible for us to betray the people of Palestine.